Good morning from a very quiet morning in the Shropshire Hills. I'm out here today taking a walk before I start my day, and so it feels quite appropriate to talk to you about systems. Why systems? Well, this countryside is a system, our body's a system. Everything is a system, and a system of systems and parts, all interreacting with each other. I'm talking about the interconnectedness of all things. So a system is a group of things working together, interreacting with each other for a common purpose. So this body is a collection of systems: my circulatory system, my respiratory system, my digestion system, which is a combination of all sorts of cells and other microorganisms, all working together for the common purpose of keeping this body alive and being part of the rest of the world, which is a system, the planetary system, which is in the solar system. So all of those things move and interrelate with each other. If you change one small aspect of any system, then the performance of that system is changed. So if we look at these trees here, it looks like a collection of trees, but actually what we've got is a system that we call a forest, or the woods. Because although those trees look like individual trees, their roots under the ground all connect with each other and work together to support each other for the common purpose of creating oxygen and creating nourishment and supporting animal systems and habitat. And they interact, of course, with the weather systems, which interact with human systems, our human social systems, economic systems, traffic systems, political systems. All of these things, they're not things in their own right, they're not separate things. I can't point at an economic system, but all of the variables within that are affected by other systems and parts. So why am I talking about this? Your business is a system. You can't point at your business. Your business is an emergent property of the systems that you've created for a common purpose. That purpose is the reason you set up your business. And why it's useful to recognise this is because, as I said, change any element of a system and the performance increases or decreases or changes in some way. A bicycle is a system. It's a couple of wheels and a frame and cogs and chains and handlebars and seat. If you take away any of those items, it won't perform as it's intended to. Take away a wheel, it won't perform as it's intended to. You take a wheel by itself, you can't say that's a bike. It has to be part of that system. And you take away the wheel from the bike, and it's not really a bike anymore because it doesn't have the purpose of allowing you to sit on it and ride along. It won't work well at all. As we change or adjust the processes or elements of a system, because the performance changes, we can use that knowledge to our benefit. We can use that knowledge to create feedback loops. And what I mean by that is, if we can monitor how the changes we make to a system affect it and affect the outcome, then we can make more refined changes and different changes. For example, my body as a system has many, many levels of feedback. If I was to start running now, after a while, I'd start to feel tired as I ran out of energy, and that sense of tiredness is my body telling me it doesn't have enough energy left and I need to slow down. If I was to fall over and hurt my knee, then the pain would be feedback from my body telling me that something's wrong there and I need to go easy on it, or I need to rest it, or I need to give it some medical care. And so if we think about your business, what feedback can you put into your business to tell you how your business is performing? So, for example, we might have an accounting system that monitors the financial aspects of the business and tells us whether our sales are increasing or decreasing, or how the profit margins are doing, or how a particular manufacturing process is reflected in that economic system. We might add a new member of staff to the team and see how the entire relationship between the entire team changes as a result of that, and there's a ripple effect to the performance, either positive or negative. We might create dashboards that show our amount of money that we're creating per unit of sale, or how many items we're turning around, how many customers we're servicing, how many leads turn into appointments, which turn into presentations, which turn into sales. And if we can have these dashboards, then we're much, much closer and much more in tune with the system that is our business. And that's something that software can do beautifully. We like to talk about the sleep at night dashboard. The sleep at night dashboard is a piece of software that connects to different elements of your system and give you the feedback you need to sleep well at night. You know how your profits are going, you know what your forecasts are looking like, you know how your sales are converting, you know how your team is performing, you know individual teams and the team as a whole. From these dashboards, you can then tell what aspects of your system you need to improve. You can tell whether you need to automate a particular part of the process because there's a bottleneck in your workflow from customer order through to delivery. You might need to add a new piece of software to improve the performance in another aspect. Or you might find that there are too many members of staff doing one particular job, or there isn't enough strength in a particular role, that we need a particular person in a particular role with a particular unique ability. So the interconnectedness of all things runs from the sky to the trees to your business. And it's something that's really worth bearing in mind. There are tools that we can use in systems thinking that can allow us to analyse our business and make those changes, make the difference between a high-performing business and a low-performing business. And when we use software to monitor the different systems and processes within our business and give us feedback on the performance of that business, then we can also use software to improve performance by automating where there are bottlenecks and providing extra feedback, and even feedback to our clients to keep them delighted and informed of the progress of your project. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. Have a look at your business, have a look closely at how things relate, how different processes relate within the business that form up the system that is your business, and what can you tweak to improve the performance and the feedback of your business. What's the purpose of your business? What is the deep underlying purpose that all of these systems that you've created are performing with the intention of creating that outcome? What is the purpose of your business? Why are you doing what you're doing? All questions that systems thinking bring up. I hope that's some food for thought. I'd love to hear your thoughts.